Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. I hope you had some refreshments, because for match day number 12 so far, it has been an explosive start between Rogue as well as Immortals. And if they keep up the intensity, I mean, it was a little bit shaky at most points, but I'd say it's just both teams playing really, really well. If they keep this form forward in towards Inferno, we have another great match coming up, Billy.
Oh, so it's all up onto Inferno, huh? That'll be an interesting one, I guess. Both,
quote,
I mean,
unquote,
I don't know.
It'll be lit.
What's that?
It'll be lit.
It'll be lit.
It'll be lit.
New York, let's get lit. As
I think that's what they said, but I can't necessarily remember.
Yeah, look, encouraging a whole city to get lit. Don't know about that one.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know, Inferno, if who will really come out ahead on that one? I mean, I know Immortals play it quite a bit already, so we'll have to see how strong Rogue is on it. I mean, I think the first map was Immortals' pick because, you know, Rogue started on the T side, so...
No, it would have been Rogue's pick.
Rogue's pick.
Anyway, I'll let you think a little bit about Inferno. We'll take a quick look at...
Yeah, you're right.
We'll take a quick look at the schedule, and then Renegade 16 out of Optic, and then by normal fashions, it means that Renegade should lose train, right?
Not necessarily.
This is just the Renegades meme. It's just
meme.
Like, I want to believe, because
this is how we're predicting results now, just entirely based off of memes.
Belief in memes.
That sounds right.
That's about right.
That sounds accurate.
In this age of Counter-Strike, you'd normally predict. I mean, would you have said Rogue defeated Immortals earlier today? I said there is a chance, but I didn't think it'd go into overtime.
Yeah, I couldn't have really predicted that one because I had no idea, you know, how good Cadian would come integrate into the lineup. I know he's, you know, a serviceable player at least, and I didn't really know very much about Routh. I hadn't really seen him play too much, so...
He played pretty well.
Yeah, he played bloody well, but the really standout player was Hiko, to be honest.
When is Hiko not the standout player? Let's be real. I think before it was like a matter of consistency for Hiko, where I think there was like 1 or 2 rounds he'd have huge impact, but now it just felt like, yeah, sure, he had the same impact on the rounds he clutched it out, but every single round he was chiming in. The only times he was like kind of useless was on the CT side. But come on, man, like, he's playing B anchor. Like, when your A starts getting completely sacked and you're the B anchor, what do? You can't 1v4, 1v3 clutch every single time.
I mean, if you're going to put anyone in that position, it's good to put Hiko in it, but yeah, I mean, he did his role very well. He got plenty of clutches for his team, and they were able to push it over the line on the side of Rogue, so that's what we want to see. But who knows whether they'll be able to make it a 2-0.
No, we'll have to see. I mean, talking about clutches and everything, I'm actually really happy yesterday, because I went back home, I played an ECA game, and we won the match 16-13. We were down 5-10. You know, you had teammates being negative and everything. I was just like, I had one teammate that was just going, I've lost, 25 out of my last 30 games or something. I'm on an 8-loss streak. I don't know, man. What do I do? I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go full try-hard mode. I went full try-hard mode, closed out the match. We won 16-13. Managed to complete with a 1v3 clutch. I was pretty proud of myself.
I'm really happy for you, but what was your RWS, mate?
It was actually decent. It was at like 15.
15?
Yeah.
All right.
It was decent. I'm not going to say that was absolutely insane.
Look, I don't care about any of the other stuff that happened in your day. Just tell me what your RWS is, and if I don't deem it to be good enough, then I don't really want to hear anything else about it.
It's not like Dizzy Life levels of RWS, but 15, man, considering that I barely touched the game enough as it is. Like, I want to go play the game more, but I can't. But there you are.
Hey, look, mate, I don't think a lot of the people viewing this, if they're on the American side of things, they would be like, Dizzy, is that guy from Reddit who, puts all those sick clips in and stuff, and played in that stream.
Oh, okay. To put it in comparison, right? Dizzy Life is one of the Australian players, very known as an ECA fiend, so to speak. Hilarious guy. He averages nearly 18 to 20 a month, and I'm not even joking. That's his average, and the guy is absolutely insane. And one of the most down-to-earth guys I actually know in terms of the Aussie Counter-Strike scene. Really do love the guy. But enough about the Aussie Counter-Strike scene. We're talking about the NA scene, and I mean, the odds have swung slightly back in the favor of Immortals. They're back in the lead once again, but I wouldn't necessarily agree with it. Still, once again, it still feels like too much in the favor of Immortals. I don't think it has reflected the live change of the match so far. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, especially if they're going into Inferno, I would actually pretty much favor Immortals in this matchup. Pretty heavily, I would say. I haven't really seen too much from Rogue's Inferno, and we will be able to see how proficient they are at it.
We'll be able to find out today. Maybe we'll be able to write a service manual on what Rogue are doing good and what they aren't doing. Oh, there's 2 chickens though.
Look, I got it right at the moment, especially in this map. It is of critical importance that someone writes a service manual for Cadian on how to AWP the CT side, because if he can't get anything done with the CT side AWP on this map, then it's going to be a really tough time in here for Rogue. And I would say this pistol is actually really important for Rogue to pick up, because, you know, if Immortals get themselves off to a strong start on the T side rather, this game is going to be so much harder for Rogue to win. I would say that the pistols are critical for Rogue to take out if they're going to have a good chance in this match.
Very early on 4-stack towards the B bomb site, and Bolts is going to be feeling a little bit of a headache. Dinked down through the edge of the wall by Hiko, was contesting it very early on. So HP advantage barely in the favor of Rogue, but still, they'll take any advantage they can get. But they don't have enough members towards the A-bomb site, so they do need to play progressive eventually towards Nana, or run the risk of trying to play retake on an A-bomb site with a completely set up Immortals lineup. It's all up towards Cadian, who earlier did spot out a little bit of action towards second mid. Shinobi does have is close enough to give him a little bit of assistance, but not enough really, as Bolts should be the first man to fall, unless he finds a ridiculous headshot. I don't think he... Oh, no, he will.
Ooh,
okay.
What are you talking about? Cadian's gone in with the 180. 5-on-4 here. Shinobi running up with the kit and the smoke. All of the Rogue players converging on the position of Immortals. Zach playing right in that Moto smoke, and he's going to get flashed through. Instant 1B from him gets traded out by Wrath. SHD doing sick work in Diggity, but gets traded out by Hiko. Trades going back and forth, and it's all on Wrath. I don't know if he'll be able to recover the kit, but he recovers Steel's head with his USP.
And Destiny just needs to hide at the stage. Doesn't really need to contest it. He has to gamble, though, a little bit. 15 HP. Destiny has definitely been having a really great game so far. I mean, we gave
one round in, mate.
I think we get... No, as in great game in terms of the series,
oh,
right?
Yeah,
He's been having, like, in terms of great counter-striking ability as the game.
No,
very early pause.
Bit of a pause.
Yeah.
Maybe Bolts needs to go to the toilet.
No, this is just a tech pause.
Yeah.
On the side of Rogue.
Well, yeah. Man, like I said, those pistols so important for Rogue to win, especially on this map. I feel like Immortals is just going to have that you know, ability, that power to grind out the rounds, no matter whether they go down to an early disadvantage. They'll be able to grind out the gun rounds. They'll have plenty of strategies up their sleeve. They'll have a pretty strong fundamental understanding of how to play this map, but I feel like Rogue needs the advantage of the pistols to make this match more competitive than it might be. And if Immortals takes out both of those pistols, I don't know. I feel like this will be a bit of a 16-10er for Immortals, if not a bit of a blowout. I see Rogue having a really tough time, unless they really win like a lucky eco round or something, grinding out those gun rounds and just putting rounds on the board consecutively after going down in the pistol.
Absolutely. A bit of an extended tech, not tactical.
Well, they can't unpause it until the issue's resolved, Kevin. You can't just be like, alright, I've given you 25 seconds to do whatever the problem is. Your graphics card might be completely cooked, but, you know,
just
too
fix
bad.
the graphics card.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Okay,
just
I'm moving a little bit.
Just give it a bit of a bit of a wash. You know?
Have you considered turning on your PC on, just turning it back off? As a standard response.
Leaving it off, you know?
Yeah, like, I've tried all these 10 things. Sorry, sir, I need to proceed down this checklist of points just to make sure. Okay, this is going into a little bit of a personal story. I do run a little bit of tournaments on the side in terms of Counter-Strike and stuff. And the amount of times, like, you do ask for basic things, and it's a bit of a meme with a checklist where you go, yeah, this is, have you turned it on, off, have you done this setting, etc. I once had a guy complain to me that I'm not getting enough frames with Inferno. Right? Inferno is not the most optimized map. We're not playing on the best PCs because we're down at the local internet center, PC cafe, PC bang, whatever you want to call it. Place with lots of PCs, you play games there all day. But I go, all right, let's take a look at the settings. And he goes, no, I've done everything. Like, I've checked all these settings. And the first thing I do is go into video settings. And do you know what resolution this guy's playing on in Inferno? He's playing on 2K resolution. And he's complaining about FPS issues.
What, did you turn it down? It was fixed?
Sorry?
Did you turn the res down?
Yeah.
And it was fixed?
Yes. Who would have thought that, Oh, apparently Inferno, CS is a very CPU-intensive game. Resolution is tied towards CPU power, not the best CPUs, and you're playing on 2K and you complain about FPS. That's why I always like, even though the checklist is a little bit of a meme when you just go, okay, I have to go down and ask these things, even though like it may sound stupid, there are a lot of the times where someone actually hasn't done something.
I like this buyout from Rogue. They've got 4 smokes to work with, so they can really sort of, you know, use those to limit where Immortals can and can't push and really stall out the round. And this might force Immortals into a situation where they might have to hit a bomb site that is not optimal. They may run into a bit of a stack if Rogue does play it correctly. And also they've got the scout on Cadian who can potentially get some early damage in. However, continuing his CT scope run has not really hitting anything.
That's a hard shot to hit. We can't really hold anyone up to Peter standards of, oh, he should be able to strafe out mid and just take someone out while they're like doing a wiggle in midair.
Yeah, I don't think even Peter knows how he does that sometimes. As Steel moving his way up through Boiler. Second smoke coming out onto the top of Banana, so this is really stalling out how Immortals is playing. And if you're looking at the minimap, your boy Vice just threw that smoke to top Banana, and he's going to go for a bit of a run back onto the A bomb site. Wrath ready for someone to over-aggress through this apartments area. It is Zach jumping out. He goes straight for a little bit of a run into Diggity. Takes out Cadian, and Cadian might be a bit grumpy about that one.
Yeah, it's 1-for-1 trade ultimately, but it does allow Steel as well as the rest of the Immortal players to just come up and try to take this A-side control. Hiko has found a no man's land as he's trying to exit out of library from knowledge into his death. And there is a full surround on the A-bomb site right now. There is one player on the A side, but Vice is going to run out of ammunition very shortly. Sells a pit player in Shinobi. Too many targets to find, too many vectors to switch in between. He's just going to save the armor as well as the CZ. He's found one. No serious gun to be retrieved. And Immortals, they might go on a hunt with one of these UMPs, but I'd still argue that they're going to keep the AK nice and safe and just keep bolts or Steel probably just keep, you know, take care of him. Just go, shh, it's okay, SH said, you know, everything's going to be fine. No, they're actually just going to leave him. Rip. They've just gone, you'll come with us. That's it. There's no repercussion. They just go, you just got to come with us.
Steel might give Shinobi a nice little present. I know. Who is ready in that scenario? Steel, so disciplined. I would literally have my hand off my mouse. I might be like, you know, on my phone or pushing back my hair. He's got his hand on his mouse. His crosshairs on the doorway. He's ready to shoot anybody at any angle.
I think that's why he's a major finalist, and we might not be.
Hey, you don't know that for sure. You don't know what I get up to on Sundays. So maybe I am at the major.
Finishing your assignments. Too soon. Oh no, I've triggered my co-caster. Oh no, rule number 1 of casting, don't trigger your co-caster, guys. I've put Pilly on mad tilt.
What's number 2? What's rule number 2?
I'll make them up as they come along. But
you don't need to make it up.
No, rule number. Okay, do you know what rule number 2 is?
Yeah.
Don't dog the boys.
That's what it is.
But I feel like rule number 1 is kind of tied in with rule number 2. And Zach is just looking to hold off this anti-eco push. He does allow 1 to go free, but it's able to deflect some of the damage. Destiny almost falls towards Hiko, but we'll be able to find the kill with the Mac 10 at the end of the day. But it's an anti-eco. Immortals, if they don't drop a gun, they'll be pretty happy. Keep all the guns forward, ready to roam around the world.
Yeah, look, this round is for inspecting your expensive pixels and doing your best to pretty much try to kill people with a BB gun.
USB is a pretty lethal BB gun.
Possibly.
I mean, you're not shooting rad roaches or anything, but still.
Oh, man. Cadian's still hiding in the graveyard. He's probably in the appropriate position.
Is he going to get knifed? He's going to get knifed!
Yeah.
Still, that's just BM. There's just extra money in the bank account. And
That's
Cadian,
what
I
you
don't think he
don't
was
want with
expecting
the
it.
USB. You may as well have just run straight down mid.
You might as well just run it down mid, because now you're just given more cash and steal.
Alright. Cadian straight onto the ult.
That's a
Shinobi's
nice...
gonna go Famous with... Yeah, you're right. Might be right about this Famous thing. Maybe I should give this some more testing. If 3 people are all buying Famous, there must be some kind of... It must be alright, because my memories of the Famous are not fond ones.
It's always been a good gun if you want to feel like you can... If you do something incorrectly, you just want to blame it on something else. Like...
Yeah, it's a bit of a 96 in 5er for me. I can't really recover after those kind of experiences.
Who can really, as now Immortals making their way out very quickly out of SHZ, out of apartments. Cadian, he's got too many angles to check, and oh my goodness, SHZ nearly butchers it, but we'll be able to clean up at the end of the day. And now Shinobi in a real position to do some damage with a FAMAS, but he started spraying, and that was his downfall. You just got to be tapping away. You need heavy trigger discipline, and bolts with the AWP will spread out Hiko. A little bit more damage done, but Hiko is now trapped towards Mini Pit, and there are a lot of members ready to take him out. And SHZ, that is a huge round coming out of him. 4 kills with the AK-47, and Immortals now taking it away a little bit faster. And Rogue wanted them to.
Say what you want about SHZ. He does alright on the entries. Still, he trades out the CZ for the USB.
You can't buy a USB on the T side. A wise investment. Sometimes you just have to have the collectible item, and Steel decides he wants to add that towards his collectibles. Because, I mean, when you have an AK, right, and then you... When are the chances you're going to run out of ammunition with the AK, firstly? I mean... Very limited, even though you're trying to spray through everything. And if you do run out of ammunition for your pistol, would you rather switch towards a CZ, which is just effectively trying to pull something out for a very, very long time, or would you rather just go for something pretty quick? Because now Destiny is able to get the first 2 before Bolts reinforces the B-side attack. Cadian has showed himself, so they know the last move is A. They're just going to run straight towards B. And really, once again, a nothing round coming out as Immortals race towards a 5-0 lead. And the question is now, can they keep up this pace and just shut Rogue completely down to their CT side? That's the only question.
Well, you know, I don't really endorse the whole tangent about collecting USPs, but Immortals are definitely collecting a lot of rounds. As Wrath's going to drop a AWP over to Cadian, who has yet to show up in this map, and he's going to be a key factor for Rogue, in my opinion. Zach back on the AWP again. And I feel like Immortals have gone through the list of AWPers just in this match alone. They went, Bolts went, oh, I'll give AWPing a go, and then Steel, and now Zach's on it.
I think SHZ's also been on... No, everyone's actually picked up the AWP on the side of Immortals, which is good.
Which is good.
Sometimes you don't need a designated AWPer. Sometimes you just want to have...
Yeah, that's why you need a designated AWPer.
That's a tough line to challenge. I mean, how many people can challenge that angle?
Well, you wouldn't if you were a designated AWPer, because you would know that's a bad idea.
Yeah, well, SHZ will just instantly trade him out with the AK-47. Just pushing back in, we'll find Steel. SHZ probably just went, I'm just going to go back and apps for a bit, and Steel didn't acknowledge that, or vice versa. Steel didn't realize his teammate left because SHZ said nothing. But regardless, Rogue finally have the advantage in a very, very long time. It's been a while since they've been able to kind of make a round work in their favor. And when is the contact going to... Oh, Hiko nearly gets caught out, but Bolts will be able to shut down Shinobi at the coffins. Destiny makes his way across, and Bolts will finish off what Destiny started. So it was looking so promising for Rogue, but if they don't get another pick on the back of Vice with the M4, they're just going to have to save. No way into the B site. 2 choke points. They've already been taken care of. And Immortal 6-0. Rogue might be able to force back up to this. They've retrieved the AWP. They'll be able to save that.
Yeah.
Or to quote one of my favorite other casters, that thing.
The boomstick, the big green. And say what you want about SHD last map, but he's doing pretty good in this one. Seems to be a pretty strong player on that T side, getting the entries. Vice grabbing a kill, but SHD grabs him. And SHG is definitely on the hunt for this one. He doesn't want Wrath to get away with this AWP.
It's too late. Wrath has gotten away. Only a single AWP save. Better than Rogue taking 2 AWPs forward, because it would have meant a little bit more danger. I still reckon Immortals have the ability to kind of navigate the tide of battle.
9-1 for SHG. Having a pretty good game here. Sort of semi-limited buy coming out of Rogue, but should be enough to make do. Cadian playing over towards that A-bomb site as again, Shinobi. Nana pretty much left by himself. He does quite a lot of damage though as Immortals run through the Molotov. Hiko left alone on this bomb site, but he's doing a pretty good alright job. Pretty good alright job of holding it.
Very descriptive, as now Acadian's also managed to rotate his way across. All these Immortals members are so low. Surely Rogue have to pick this one up. If they let this one drop, then it's going to be an actual disaster. Acadian just peeks straight in towards his death, and Hiko just waiting, but he misses the first spray. Can't land it on Bolts. No! How does this happen? I'm tilted.
Yeah, right. It's alright. I'll take over from here. Kev, Vice gets one. This is winnable. Flash and smokes for the Rogue side. They do have one kit. Wrath moving in. He's going to check the oranges. Bit of a messy spray, but he does clean it up. Destiny in the emo corner. He is... Doesn't matter what he's doing. Bolt's killing everyone. 4K from him.
Hiko did 281 damage with grenades. Immortals were also alone. Rogue just needed to connect a few shots, and they didn't.
No.
No, not like this! Crying inside. I really wanted Rose to succeed. They held off the early aggression so well, and at the end it was just a few differences in terms of crosshair placement, and that's what makes it heartbreaking for me, because I did all the good work in that round. Shinobi, a lot of good early damage. Hiko fell back, just waited for his teammates to rotate across, bought some time, but Bolt, the only high HP member, was left alive at the end of it, and he's, once again, when you leave him in those kind of clutch situations, he's so smart, he's so good at it, and Rogue from there on in, it was just kind of like, what chance do they have? They're going for a Nana take this time around. They do have a few flashbangs to work with, and the members are flashed out, but Destiny, he's coming off the whiteness now, and he's just going to get a 1-for-1 trade. SHZ, he doesn't need to look through anything, because there's smoke there. He doesn't care. He'll take out more members, and Zach will clean up the round. Mortals 8-0. And Rogue, when is Attack Pause going to come out to try to discuss things? Maybe we'll see a double AWP setup now come through on the side of Rogue. One on Katie and potentially one on Hiko as well, or Shinobi. But it actually is going to be a rifle on Hiko. Shinobi will also pick up an M4 as well. So just still the single AWP setup. But they need to change something. And Hiko 1 and 8. Not really his fault, I would say a lot of the time, but that looked like a hit.
Not really. Unfortunately, Cadian still not getting anything done with the AWP.
How does Bolts just lurk his way into that position to get one kill?
Yeah, he's doing pretty well for Immortals in general.
Just doing pretty well in general?
Well, yeah, well, last map he was balling out of control. He was winning clutches. This map, he's winning clutches, you know, multi-fragging, winning 3 versus 5 situations, getting the first pick on Hiko. Yeah, he's doing alright. Decent job from him. Zach moving his way into Boiler. Don't peek it again, mate. Oh, it's not even really going to matter.
He's got a rifle this time, so
seems like he's learned from his mistakes, though.
He's just going to be trying to sell the lurk fake right now, so just looking to buy some time, just make the players on the A side a little bit more unsettled, as it is going to be a B side take. Shinobi gets the dink across. They try to go for the informational play, which is what you need to do towards the late stages of the game, but there's just too many members of Immortals to kind of trade out the kills. So once again, Rogue, they play well towards the B side after losing the initial member. They realize the dangers of, you know, playing towards the mid game. They have to flash in, but there's just too many members for Immortals for them to trade out. At the end of the day, they'll just come out a little bit too strong. So Immortals 9-0. I'd say it's a little bit of a different style to the games we played. We not played, but saw yesterday. Yesterday was just kind of like, man, it just feels bad because Rogue, like, or not Rogue, but Complexity were just getting, or Splice were getting completely stomped. There was no way for them in because it was just completely lifeless. Whereas this one, Rogue is showing signs of life. They're doing the correct thing, but they're just unable to succeed at the very end. It's not even like Immortals are showing no respect. It's just more of the fact that a lot of Rogue so far are able to land a little bit of their shots, and that's what makes the difference. Just even one different kill and the tide of battle could be changed.
Yeah, but that doesn't really, you know, highlight the point that just Immortals are just playing better overall, individually, in all regards at this point. And SHG is going pretty ham at the moment. Bolt's giving him a hand as well with some pretty high impact kills. And over on the side of Rogue, like, apart from Wrath, no one's really contributing. And when you got across the board contribution from the Immortals side, some good fundamental strategy, they're comfortable on this map. And Rogue is pretty much the opposite. I mean, what else can you really expect at that point? I knew that if they weren't able to get the pistols, then this was going to be a little bit too one-sided. Because once they don't get off to that good start, you know, once they don't win that first gun round, they lose pistol, lose first gun round, it all starts to spiral out of control. Immortals gets off the ground running quickly, and unfortunately it's, you know, worst set of circumstances possible for Rogue, and they're not going to be able to capitalize on any of the little advantages they've been given. Extra money, they haven't had too many extra ecos on this half. They've had plenty of money bonus, but it's not really mattering at the moment.
And the pain is when Rogue, if they win one round, the danger of being reset and being forced on towards a double eco is very real in Destiny. Ooh, he's going to eat that grenade for 60 points of damage. Still
Great
looking...
catch.
Yeah, great catch indeed, but still looking to make his way in towards Nano. If he gets a flashbang of assistance in Cadian, needs to be cautious. You can't play that line like you did in Source. And Destiny, how does he still get the kill? The Molotov doesn't go deep enough in Destiny. Well, eventually the Incendiary Grenade spreads, but that's still a 1-for-2 trade. Immortals still get the better of it. And now Shinobi's made his presence known. He's the only one here and just needs to be really cautious and decides to back out. Rotation will come forward. The bomb's just been left in T-spawn. I wonder who from Immortals is going to go get it.
Don't think it even really matters at this point. This game is extremely one-sided. Immortals doing all the things right that they need to be able to take the game out, apart from maybe leaving the bomb further than usual. Smoke out towards jungle from Steel. It's going to keep Vice interested over on that A-bomb site, but they are going to go for the 4-for-2. Just going to group up and try to close out the round. Cadian posted up with the AWP, does pick Zach. Flash over the top from him. He's going to get Molotov'd out and commit closer. So he's going to have to go for the repeats. Picks up Steel through the smoke. Good job from him. Shinobi playing from the new box is going to close that one. Oh, never mind. No, you don't leave Bolts of all people in this one-on-one, Kev.
Yeah, Bolts. I mean, he's dinked down. He's on 8 HP, but he doesn't know where Vice is coming in from. That's the only advantage. Vice will do well to clean up. So Rogue, on the back of Katie and picking up 2 from Kaufman's, will be finally able to take a round.
But that
long time coming.
That round that they win, they survive with 1 player, Kev.
Exactly. So they're going to be poor.
Oh,
they're going to be poor Isbrew. Well, actually, Hiko and Shinobi aren't too badly off.
But if they lose this one, man.
Oh, that's a different story. If they lose this, it's just back in towards the center link line effectively for the majority of their players. It's over. It's done for.
At least they won't have to work too hard, though.
They still have
They
to work
can
hard.
chill out a bit.
Nah, there's no chilling out. I can tell you that. Oh, there is no chilling out indeed. And it looks like Katie, I like to see him play a little bit more aggressive with the AWP, and he's just taking control of the second mid and will take down Destiny. So, he understands the angles, understands the peeking lines, might have done a little bit of homework, and he's finally rewarded. He's now stepped it up on the CT side, getting crucial instrumental picks, which is allowing a Rogue back in towards this game, as now Immortals stacked up towards second mid.
Cadian rotating onto the bomb site with the AWP. Interesting positioning. Steel going to smoke out towards jungle. Vice going to try to hold like a rock in the pit. Not really sure how rocks hold things. They don't have hands. As Shinobi playing from the Moto position. Wrath is going to be soloing on that bomb site. And he's got plenty of utility to work with over on B. So they probably should rotate pretty quickly onto the A bomb site once Immortal starts hitting it. Vice peeking out before the flashbang from Shinobi goes even close to Diggity and gets his head completely blown off. Cadian with the collat there. Shinobi cleans up the second. Bolts close with Steel. Shinobi's doing great work. And this round should be pretty much over, but Bolts in a 1-on-3 is nothing to sneeze at.
Wrath will clean things up. They will be able to recover the AWP as well. Now Katie has definitely stepped it up. So Immortals now starting to scratch their head a little bit and wonder where to go. B side hasn't worked out. A side hasn't worked out. Rogue have finally started to live life a little bit better.
Yeah, well, you know,
giving themselves a chance. Like,
they're winning rounds. So
yeah, they're winning enough rounds.
that's
like,
something.
probably not enough yet. They need at least 4 in the CT half to at least have a chance at coming back on their T side. Anything less, it's a bit of a different story.
I mean, I would say they need about 8. Cadian not really hitting anything in mid, unfortunately. However, maybe he'll be able to change up the angle and readjust, grab himself a pick at a different angle. Destiny moving up through the apartments here. He's got full control. The rest of his teammates just chilling out in second mid. KDM posted up on the boiler line, hoping that Zach is going to go for a bit of a chilled out pick again. SHG, he's got everything on lock, spraying people through walls.
And more damage done towards Cadian as well. This is really good stuff coming out from Immortals, now doing a little bit more further damage before they take that top mid control. Shinobi going to be floating back, but it is all up to Vice to kind of hold this diggity line by himself. I mean, Shinobi and Cadian, at least the jungle line under lockdown. They are coming out towards jungle, and Shinobi will only find one before Zach gets the trade. Now Cadian also falls. He was too low. He had to hit the shot, and he was effectively in a one-and-done position after his teammate fell, and Vice has now been spotted out as well. Too many angles for him to challenge, but he still finds bolts. Destiny will peek out on the back of the flashbang, and Zach just holding close library. No chance for Hiko whatsoever. All Zach had to make sure needed to do was just click at the right time, and Zach cleaning things up. Who says he's a coach? He's a player with 4 kills in this round, and Rogue are going to be pretty reset, and that is going to be heartbreaking because they might have to go for the double eco for the final round bye on the half. That stage is like 12-2.
You're so far behind. What's the point?
Just got to force?
Yeah. What's the point?
Buy until the end.
If you got money, spend it. Because, hell, inflation is not making it worth anymore.
Imagine if there was inflation inside CSGO. M4s would be costing $6,000 right now compared to
Actually,
10 years ago.
I think that there was, like, in one of the versions of Counter-Strike, based on how much you purchased a weapon, its price increased or decreased.
Yeah, didn't the AK and the...
across the board.
I heard about
yeah,
this.
They
Didn't
cost
the
like
AK...
16,000 or
yeah,
something.
it was like something ridiculous. And
Yeah.
then it was like the people had to get really good at using the really, dare I say it, terrible weapons at the time, like the dualies.
I mean,
5.7 was terrible after 1.0, I think.
Yeah, I mean, back in that version of Counter-Strike, you didn't have to be polite and talk about gun equality. You could just tell it how it was. It was a simpler time.
I think this round as well has no equality whatsoever. Hiko just dancing around the fountain, trying to find anything he can with the CT. He actually finds 2! And he just switches it out towards his dead comrades. And Cadian, oh, they don't check CT! It's a really poorly thrown smoke! Wow! Where are these rounds coming from Rogue? I'm just a... Oh my goodness. Immortals just let it slip by a little bit. And Rogue managed to take it very, very far.
I mean, they are rogues, Kev. They're stealing the round away. Great joke. Thanks. As 3 to 10 for Rogue.
Doors over there, bro.
Eco with the 2k there. Then little
He
E pick.
charges
The
in.
one time E works on a gun when you don't need to use it immediately. And that's a good news for Rogue in the sense that they will be able to buy out extra things for most of this half.
Oh, fast mid push coming out. Kaden needs to be cautious. There are a lot of members here. Throw Destiny fast down, and there are people spraying in through Diggity. But the rest of Immortals do manage to navigate some of the threat. Nope, I lied. Wrath just shuts them down completely, and well, SHZ is a dead man for certain. So Immortals go a little bit too quickly. They get shut down. Good spray control coming out of Wrath to kind of clutch another round out for Rogue. So very serviceable half now coming out after this round, barring bolts going huge, and I don't think he will be. Hiko's got his number.
Yeah, look.
Unless he spazzes out one more time, it's just like, whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah. Doesn't really matter if they get 5. It's going to be rough times here going forward for Rogue. Even if they get this and the next round, they'll be still down 10-5 going into the T side. And unless they win the pistol, they'll go up to 8-10. But look, just looking at how dysfunctional their CT side of Inferno is, I'm not having good feelings about their T side. Prove me wrong, though.
Wrath is just locking down. Wrath is just locking down the boiler line. Gets 4 kills in the round. Pretty easy. Good top mid hold. And it's the final round. They almost just line up. Wrath is able to get 2 with the spray. And then he cleans up the HE grenade after Zach realizes the bomb was lost.
Pretty bad buy out from Immortals. Looks like they finally ran out of money. Lost a couple of rounds in a row and their investor dipped on them. Destiny coming up mid again. Utility
Mid?
being used by... no, sorry.
Sorry. I couldn't help but meme you there.
You didn't meme me, mate. You called me out. It is not called mid. I appreciate that.
That's alright, buddy.
I like being told how it is. I can handle it, Kev. All right, I'm not gonna cry if you tell me I called it the wrong thing.
No, they actually changed the name of that. That's now known as B Corridor.
Yeah, it's such a corridor, mate.
B Alley.
Hogwarts. Let's just call it Hogwarts.
It's called Diggity.
Yep.
B Diggity.
B.
B Diggity. That's it. We're done for the day.
Sounds like a rapper name.
B Diggity.
B Diggity with his new sick album. His new 6 mixtape.
Well, it's not. Well, Immortals aren't really moving around that much at this stage. They've managed to sell very early Nana presents, and
3 Rogue players are on B.
but they take control of Nana. That's really good to see, right? Rogue, they realize, all right, it's about mid-game. Let's suss out what's going on. Pop a flash in towards Nana, push in. Okay, there is no one towards B Diggity here, guys. We have to go back towards A. Oh, Struth, let's rotate over towards jungle and help our mates out at A, shall we? And now they've managed to complete the wrap already, but he go through the edge of the smoke. There goes the bomb. There goes any chances surely of Immortals taking this one. And those bolts goes huge. Steel coming forward, finds one. Deagle shots won't land, and Hiko. Now it's all up to Steel, but Hiko's just too good. 4 kills for himself at the end of the round. So Rogue do manage to pick up 5 on their CT side. It was looking a little bit dire since it was 9-0, but finally they do manage to make things work out. Their shots started landing. The spray down started commencing, and Immortals couldn't find an answer.
Commence the spray down.
Commence the spray down.
It was commanded by, Rogue in-game leader Shinobi. That's his strategy. He just goes, commence the spray down, and Wrath goes affirmative and goes into Diggity and kills all the Immortals players.
Execute Order 66 effectively, but it's not the Jedi being killed this time. It was the Immortals members. But we're going for a short break. It is halftime. We'll be back in 1.5 minutes. Stay tuned. Hello everyone, welcome back. It is halftime between the match between Rogue and Immortals. We are in Inferno so far. Very strong start for Immortals. They let it slip towards the end a little bit, but I'd say as well Rogue finally did wake up and they showed us a little bit of what they had. And the odds have now slipped further in the favour of Immortals, but I wouldn't count out Rogue just yet.
I want to know who's working at Betway or whatever and just watches the halves and he's like, oh, better swap these ones around. It seems to happen every single time. But you know what? It's not too bad. It's not too bad. I mean, I wouldn't expect Rogue to have as good of a T side as Immortals have on Train, but we're pretty much in the same scenario at this point. Rogue went up 10-5 on their Train T side, and Immortals were able to come back. So maybe Rogue can do the same, but I don't know if I have so much faith. Pistol will be crucial. Although Rogue did win the pistol on that CT side of Train. They went up 12-5 and then Immortals were able to convert and grind it back. I just don't have as much faith in Rogue being able to do that, especially on Inferno where Immortals should be so comfortable.
Have to prove us wrong so far on Immortals. I mean, it's really up towards what we now coined. I'm going to make this a thing now, the B Diggity control, because that's what it boiled down to, right? And I think Rogue towards the end had really good Nana control. If people
B Diggity control.
B Diggity control, sorry. But all memes aside about mid and whatnot and how many names we could call it, Rogue actually had really good understanding how to get information in the mid game, and I think that's what changed for them a lot it's like the difference between like the latter stages as well. Like latter stage, they didn't give away as many early picks. Kaden were able to find a few crucial instrumental kills that allowed it to come back in the favor of Rogue. Once where they had the numbers advantage or they had like, you know, time advantage, they went, okay, everything's a little bit quiet. Let's pop a flash and use 2 people to scout out for information. As soon as they saw there was nothing, they rotated all their members across. And I think that's really crucial because if you just play passive and boxed in on that Nana site, on B site, and you wait for it to execute, you're so isolated away from the rest of the CTs on A site. You do have to play reactive a lot of the time. You have to play not reactive, but you have to play proactive. You can't just wait all the time for grenades to come over. You got to go in. You just got to go and get the information for yourself.
Yeah, and you know they did do a little bit of that towards the later parts of their CT side, which got them a round or 2. But for the most part, they were doing it quite late, and the Immortals had already set up with what they wanted to do at that point, and they were still a little bit out of position. I would say that, although that was a factor, I'd say individuals stepping up. I mean, Wrath was having a shocker in the early parts of that half, and then he finished it like something like 17 to 11 or 15 to 10 or something.
Well, like he was the one that was just chipping in and doing the damage. And then I think Kaden stepped up with the AWP, and then everyone else decided to join in and chime in with a few kills. Even Hiko towards the end, getting a lot of kills as well. So I think everyone was struggling early on. Like that, when I think that B site round where I just shook my head and just went, oh no, this can't be happening. That was like a summary of what was going on, because even though you had so many low HP members, no one could convert the kills. And that's always, like, I don't really mind that as much, because it's just like, they'll just shake themselves and be like, all right, I can hit these shots. I'm just going to have to wake up and just hit these next time. It was like more of, I saw the signs of Rogue holding onto the bomb sites as something really positive. Like, they weren't playing super passive, like, oh no, what are we going to do? You know, it's not like Home Alone kid is just hiding somewhere. It was like the Home Alone kid after he set up all the contraptions and he's out, you know, he's just bamboozling Immortals. That's exactly what Rogue did.
Yeah. In the earlier parts of the half, he would have set up all the traps, but instead the robber just walks through them and then pushes him over. But, you know, in this T half, it's going to be pretty important for Wrath to be on point, for Kaden to be on point with the AWP, and let's see some more entry frags from Hiko, leading the boys into the bomb site. That would be pretty important, because their chain T side seemed pretty good.
Yeah, and Wrath definitely needs to step up as well. Look, I've just been told there is a little bit of a technical delay. I think one of the players may have an issue because Rogue, well, you know, one of the Rogue players had a problem earlier. But we'll go for a short break. We'll be right back. It is a 10-5 lead for Immortals. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon. Hello everyone, welcome back. It was a bit of a short break, but we should be good to go now. Immortals versus Rogue. If you just have tuned in, it is map number 2 still on Inferno. Rogue were on the CT side. Did manage to take 5 towards the end, but they are still down 10-5. Immortals, a very, very strong T-side start, but now they need to carry it on towards their own CT side as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any doubts that Immortals will be able to carry it out onto their CT side. This is a map they're really comfortable with. They've played it plenty, and they should be fairly well set up for that. The only question in that case could be, you know, sort of putting people in different positions, having 2 stand-ins in your coach. You're going to have to swap things around, have people in key positions that they may not be comfortable playing. But really the only question in my mind comes down to, is Rogue going to be able to be as good on the T side of Inferno as they were on the T side of Train?
I'll have to take a look and find out. I mean, even we're talking about Zach, the coach. He's definitely looking like a pretty strong player earlier on the T side. He was able to do some good work with the rifles. May not be setting the world on fire, but proving that he is not the disappointment of the team for certain. As now Immortals have the kit on Zach, going for some early informational plays. You can see Bolt's already pushing up. Might be caught out by Vice at this stage, and he's completely blinded out. Pushing up a little bit too early on, and now SHZ, too much work for him to do. He's going to collapse without even doing any damage, and now Destiny has to go huge with the USP, and he can't even find a single... Okay, he found 1. He's found 2, actually. I spoke too soon. He's dropped the bomb as well, and allows the rotation to come forward from the rest of the members of Immortals.
Destiny stepping up. Been a bit quiet the last 2 halves in terms of this series, but this is a good time for him to step up. A 3rd from him. Ooh, he's on for the ace. That was a sick adjustment. 1 more. Cadian dancing around the pillar actually puts him down. Not accidentally, I would say. But Zach's got no armor. Looking for this one against Cadian in the 1-on-1. Cadian with the 3k, so back and forth individual plays, and he seems pretty happy about that one.
You wouldn't be. Taking a very crucial pistol round against Immortals just gives you a better chance at coming back on Inferno. Destiny just feels probably a little bit cheated because that was a sick pistol round. All he needed is just put a couple more bullets in towards Cadian. That's all they needed to do, but they didn't really play that correctly, I'd say. Like the first 2 people pushing out, they didn't get the vectors, the angles correctly on.
Don't go on about this, mate. Come
vectors, on. And then they didn't calculate. They didn't really apply the correct formula. The tangents weren't really aligned today.
I'm just going to put it down to superstition. That pillar is cursed.
I hate
someone
that pillar,
plays at that pillar, I cannot kill them.
It's like on T side, it's like I peek out, some guy just instantly rails me twice with a dually at like long range. It's just like how? And then when someone else is playing that pillar, I'm just tapping away and the guy just never gets hit.
Yeah.
Feels
Destiny
bad.
gets 4 kills easily, but when it comes down to killing someone at that pillar, can't be done.
So 4 UMPs on the side of Rogue. Destiny, obviously with the extra cash, is able to buy up a UMP and a smoke grenade to work with. Now Rogue are commencing the execute towards the B site. They've got a lot of Molotovs, a lot of smoke grenades, which is really good to see. Always like seeing teams having more Molotovs because it allows them a little bit more flexibility in taking the B bomb site. There's only a certain amount of lines that Immortals could play after a particular point in time. A good thing for Immortals, though, is that they have head armor, so they're not going to get completely shredded by the UMPs. There's a smoke grenade being used. So even though the Molotovs and whatnot are coming forward, Destiny is just lying in wait in the smoke, and SHZ's already found 1. Done some more damage as well, which will make Destiny's life a little bit easier. They already know he's there, though. I think his leg was spotted out the edge of the smoke, and they'll be able to clean him up with the UMP. So nothing done this time by Destiny.
I think he got spammed by Cadian, and they heard the connection of the shots was communicated, and Vice is able to spray him through it. So good communication coming out there from the side of Rogue. They do check all the angles. They do notice that, hey, SHG's shooting at us, and there's nobody else really here. Can't be a coincidence. And it is not. Saving the pistols and armor is Immortals. Going to take them into the next round, as they will be on another save. Good round from Rogue. Oh no, that's one you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose Vice in that scenario. They were leaving with you know, 4 rifles, 4 players alive, not rifles. They had arms, but still, 4 players alive is what you want. And 3 players alive, it's a little less sweet, but not too bad. Still can drop over and up. Upgrade to an AK-47. And you know what? Vice and Cadian stepping up on the T side this time. Got some new faces in Rogue, so good to see they've got a bit more of a dimension of talent in the lineup.
Yeah, so if you're wondering why the scores look a little bit odd, it's because I was told apparently Immortals just all timed out at the same time, which is pretty unfortunate, all things considered. That's why if you're looking at the scores, they're all on 0-0 and Rogue are not.
But for a little bit of a summary, I suppose it was Bolts doing a lot of that work and SHG doing quite well on the T side for Immortals. Zach getting binked by Shinobi, traded out. UMPs and a Mac 10 on Cadian and 2 AKs, so it looks like one of the players did upgrade.
Still might be able to catch out one. No, okay, so Vice has actually rotated a long way around, so he won't be able to catch out anyone at all.
They will end up towards this B side, and I think Immortals are noticing that this is a bit of a tendency from the side of Rogue, as they're already ready for this. Steel is literally jumping around top mid. He realizes, like, you know, there's no noise in apartments, and they usually go towards B late rounds, so it's probably the case this time. And he is right.
Yeah, so they're just spamming away with the USP. Does a little bit of damage, and Bolts just tries to attempt to drive through. Oh, no, this is not a good start for Rogue. I mean, still early days, as Bolts still has a clip left, and he's now walking through the edge of the smoke. Destiny's going to be found out by Hiko, and Bolts, a hero play coming forward, it's not going to work. So Rogue, once again, very well done to navigate with the crossfire. Taking the 3 or the 2 after the pistol and Immortals, this is not the best buy-up that you really want. It's going to allow Rogue a better chance of coming in and kind of tying it equal. And that's why I say you'd never count it out.
Yeah.
Especially between these two. Where Rogue is now starting to step it up. You have Wrath, who's just going pretty big. I mean, Katie and his score's been reset, but he had a much better CT side towards the end. And Immortals...
It's the same as the first game that we're seeing.
Absolutely.
So... it's going to be another good gun, or a blockbuster, as you often say. 2 towards the A-bomb site for Immortals. They're not going to bother even spotting out the apartments. Vice hasn't made any real noise towards that, and Rogue's just going to go up towards this B-bomb site again. That seems to be how they like to run their T side. If the contact B play works on train, they tend to just jam that one at Immortals as many times as they can before it stops working. Looks like they're feeling pretty comfortable with this B play, so expect to see this one a couple more times. Interesting that Immortals is still playing 3 towards the A site, with Bolts playing at the cubby.
There's no way for them to get information. They don't have the utility to do so. So Immortals have to play passive in this round. There's lack of incendiary grenades, lack of smoke grenades. You can see that they've only got flashbangs and a single HE to work with. Nothing to retake control of the map. Nothing to even hold off a push. It is all up to the good old-fashioned aim plays coming out. And they boosted one towards New Box. The rotation now comes in from Bolt. He realizes it's not a fake. This has to be full execute. SHZ is just toasting away, blinded out in the open. Nothing he can do. Destiny has to go huge right now. He takes down 2, but is this enough? There are members fast on the rotate already. They can bust out through the smoke. Steel and Bolts. It's going to be Bolts most likely boosted up, and he's going to take down the bomb planter. Now Vice, he hasn't pushed out any further beyond the threshold to get the trade. He's just waiting and patiently for one of the members to push out, and now it's up to really this Zach versus Cadian duel, and Cadian's going to fall once again. Vice, too much pressure from all angles. They know where he is now. Has to go big. He is in a position to do so. Oh, gets a great shot on towards Bolt. Now down towards a one-on-one. Steel, he's coming forward, and Vice, huge round. Vice has stepped up. Pilly's now gone up huge. He's excited. He's just gone, my boy Vice. You've always prayed with Vice since day one, since you saw your boy Vice, and now you're just like a proud dad gamer.
Just like Hiko.
But you're not really a dad yet. You're not old enough to be a dad gamer.
Just like Hiko. Except not as good.
But Rogue, that is an instrumental clutch, instrumental round. It now allows them towards a 9-10 mark. And one round closer from tying it up. And Immortals, I would say, just shaking their head a little bit. I mean, they did really, really well at the beginning parts. Getting the damage down, getting the picks that they needed. But then Vice were just able to transition around, and they're just trying to push in at the moment, trying to make a risky play. You got to gamble sometimes. Hasn't worked out in this round because Rogue have all the sectors covered. And that is pretty much, that is all they wrote for this round.
It is indeed. And a big problem for Immortals that they're starting to run into already is the fact that, I mean, if anybody's watched a fair bit of Immortals, you'll notice that there's actually something missing, and that is that usually they're relying on those AWPs to shoot a lot of people before they get to the bomb site. And it doesn't look like they're too well versed in closing out these rounds once they get into the post plants. once the executes come in. So, unfortunately, this might continue to be a problem here for Immortals. This B hit comes in once again. Rogue just jamming this one in every time. But they're going to need to find that second dimension of strategy, because this can only work so long when you're playing up against three big brains such as Zach, Seal, and Bolts. I'm sure between them they can put their collective brain power together to work out a way to solve the problem they're running into, especially after so many rounds of experiencing what's happening. So we're going to see if Rogue are going to be able to step up a second strategy. It almost didn't work on the last time, Kev, but oh wow, Bolt's doing great damage with the Deagle there, almost getting more than he actually got. Lots of Rogue players going down, well, 2 of them. Lots of them going down into the health points. Very low Harry Potters across the board. Shinobi struggling along. What?
That's alright.
HPs, Harry Potters?
Okay, fair enough. There's a lot of things that HP could stand for.
No, there really isn't.
There is.
It's definitely Harry Potter.
No. Harry Potter computers? I don't think that.
What do you mean?
HP computers. I don't think that. Like I said, HP can stand for multiple things.
You're telling me that Harry Potter doesn't own that company? You're insane. How do you think he started it? What a successful franchise creates, you know, incredible business opportunities.
Yeah, it's all magic, bro, at the end of the day. And Zach, he was posted up towards mid. It is going to be a faster take from Rogue on towards the A bomb site. They've managed to sneak Shinobi in with a Mac 10. And Vice, once again, 2 opening picks. But what a shot from Zach through the edge of the smoke. Another one towards Cadian, who misses the opportunity to take down the Ullapa while he was bolting up. And now a 2-on-3 bomb hasn't been planted, so it does allow additional time for Immortals to rotate 2 towards his Diggity side. Flashbang coming through his smoke, locking out the mini pit player. But now Vice, he's already found 2. Very healthy. Molotov is being flung from pit, so they know he's in pit. They can boost up and still take this guy out, as Hiko, always the danger man in sight. You can never count him out on that one and clutch the situation. So even if Vice does fall, it's not over yet. Now they're contesting the Diggity line. SHZ's going to be taken down by Vice. Destiny's going to challenge the line, and Vice will pick up another one. Vice is now the ace. They should know where the AWP is, and Vice picks up the ace. Huge play coming out, and Pilly, he's so proud right now.
Oh man, look at me to cry.
But that is this huge play coming out from Vice. He had a relatively quiet game on train, but what a way to put your team in the lead. Huge entry frags coming out. He got one before that. That's a shot from Zach. Cadian kind of whiffed that hard. But at the end of the day, Vice just playing towards the pit. He could just bide his time and just wait. Molotov just blinding out most of the players. They'd spray and hope to get a little bit more lucky. And all SH said, that is not a opportunistic start, as he's going to catch a nade and a bullet in his head for his troubles.
Oh man, I want to bet that I would bet any amount of money that Rogue is going to end up on the big bomb site next round, just based on the patterns of their T side. They've thrown in the little spanner in the works. They've gone towards A just to keep Immortals a little bit honest. Now back to the comfort play. Back to B. I'm calling it. So they do it in this anti-eco. We'll see if they go for it in the gun round. But Vice, hard carrying his team through this T side. There's no other way to say it, really. Huge individual plays in the late round. Immortals find themselves in the lead of every sort of XVX late round situation, mid round situation, and Vice pretty much carrying them through all of them.
We'll still manage to deny the bomb plant, but it's not going to change the impact of this round in any way. Rogue going to go up once again. I don't think they've lost a single T side. It's going to make it 7 in a trot now. And they look like they're not going to stop. And that's the scary part. Immortals, you can have the brains, but when Vice is just coming out and he's just using all aim, what do you do? He's just blasting your heads off. You don't have any brains then.
You're not wrong. As Bolt's playing the bottom mid.
I'm never right. It's just you're not wrong.
Yeah. They're like an old married couple. Except we're not old or married.
And not a couple. So
I don't know about that
we are, what does that make us? Absolutely nothing.
Bolt's gets his head ripped off by Shinobi. So, Rogue, 12 to 10, answering a lot of the questions that we had about them. Zach going back on the AWP, he did some good work getting the 2 kills in that last gun round that we saw. Unfortunately, it doesn't really matter when Vice just kills your entire team.
And Shinobi, if that's the definition of confidence, or either just you're tilted because you're not fragging that well, who's just sticking with the Mac 10, he's gone, you know what, I'm going to go first in. The stage you'd expect most of the CTs have the head armor, I apologize, and you see only Steel and SHZ do not have the helmet. Now, Immortals, they have taken this nano control. They're playing up at sandbags, actually pushing up, so Rogue have to go fast. This is exactly what they did in the previous buy round of Wrath. First man out, can't get the shot. No, does manage to land at the end, and Bolts, he can't challenge two angles at the same time, and Steel just playing at the edge of the mini pit. Smoke does a little bit of damage, but can't get the kill. Cadian has a lot of work to do. He's got to step it up this time. He finds one. He finds a second. Beautiful flick. Makes up for his transgressions in the previous round. And SHZ just shaking his head, wondering how's it gone so wrong. And remember at one stage, Immortals were up 9-0. 9-zip. So for Rogue to come back towards here. I reckon anyone who put $5 on Rogue when the odds were like about 4.33 are probably just celebrating right now. Or even $10.
Maybe that collective timeout is having a bit of a effect on Immortals. But
I don't think so.
More likely what's having an effect is getting banged out of the game by Vice.
I just think at the moment Rogue are just stepping up individually, and we saw that on the T side. Individually, you know, they were doing the right things. Compared to Train, they were just sitting passive. It was always a matter of chance. They had to leave it towards aim, but on Inferno towards the end, they were making the informational plays, they were taking control of the map, and then forcing Immortals to be unsettled on their T side. And now on the T side, Rogue are full. They're just dictating the pace of the game. They're going here, they're going there, they're making it fast. Why bother going for mid game and letting it screw up when you can just finish it early game? Work for them every single time. Now they're slowing it down on this anti-eco. They don't want to be giving an easy round away because they are so close to taking another map victory. And sure, Immortals don't have a 4-5 lineup, but this would be, I will still say, a mild upset. Didn't expect Rogue to come into this to make it a 2-0, but you can't let opportunities like that go. So at the very least, they have the numbers to make a 1-for-1 trade, but you don't want to be giving easy opportunities for Immortals to try to chip your numbers down and try to bring this game back. You can't let them do that in Inferno right now, not after you come back from so far down.
And someone who hasn't had enough impact after, you know, reconnecting, and even since the start of that T half, he came off so hot, was SHC. You know, Immortals were going up 9-0. That just goes to show, you know, SHG they were having a lot of troubles on Train when SHG was sort of lagging behind as well, and now troubles return. So if that man steps up, I'm sure Immortals will have a really good chance at closing this game out and coming back as well. But if he continues to lag behind and not get too much work done, it's going to be really quite hard for the Immortals side. And sometimes that is the defining factor for a lot of teams. You have that the one or two players that, based on whether they just have an average performance or a bad performance or a good performance, it's a completely different team. When they're playing good, you're stomping people, you know, 11-4, 12-3. When they're playing average, you're struggling. It's a close game. And when they play bad, you got no hope. Despite the other boys stepping up, they can just be in a lot of key positions.
Here he goes, going to deplete his clip, but he still has the backup by Cadian as well as Vice. And Vice is full HP, just going to be playing the objectives. He's been dinked out, though. He will be able to take the aim deal against Zach. And this round came pretty close for Immortals to be able to steal it away. And now Bol's just looking to do some damage and maybe retrieve an AK-47. But beyond that, there is nothing more he can really do. Vice is more than prepared to sack his life to make sure that the bomb is successfully carted out. And I think Bolts forgot about physics for a little bit because of the explosion. The bombs would explode towards Nana. That's where he needed to head toward. But they got enough money to buy up. But really, 9 rounds in a row now on the T side for Rogue. Immortals, not even a single round of counter response. And that just feels like the Immortals, or what Immortals did to Rogue. Rogue's just like, here, bro, here's the favor back. It has almost been deja vu, dare I say it. Took me a while to find out the correct word. I didn't think karma was the correct word. Deja vu. We've been in this place before.
I think it's kind of cool that Immortals disconnected and came back and we're able to see the score lines, because it really shows the difference between the point at which, you know, Immortals was in the lead and who was playing well at that point, to the point at which Rogue is stepping up and who's not really able to keep up. So,
jeez, Vice. I mean, Cadian rejoined, but Vice and Wrath definitely picking up their game quite a bit. I mean, Wrath definitely played very, very well on Train. There's no disputing that. He's carried this form forward, and it's just exciting because I think this is his first Pro League game, and what a way to come into the Pro League. It's been a lot of hype around the youngster, and then he's coming in, he's just going, you know what? The hype is there. It's real. It's deserved. It's now smokes and flashbangs coming in towards the B site, and Immortals just rotating more members across. Destiny's playing close with the Silence Name Force, so it's very difficult to pick out the traces. So almost non-existent as SHZ has managed to maneuver his way just towards New Box. Execute now beginning in earnest for the B site, and Zach has a long way to rotate across. Destiny and SHZ will both find one apiece. Destiny finds two, but still down towards a 2-on-3. Shinobi and Cadian now up. Cadian retrieves AWP, is looking to get aggressive in towards construction, while Shinobi, he's had a very quiet game, and now he needs to lift. One's going to jump across. Steel's not going to suspect one close, and there it is, Shinobi. He's found one, but he needs backup. No grenades whatsoever. He just has to go for the impact kills right now, and they're going to double peek him, but they won't be able to get the trade. Zach just posted up on the line. Bolt as well as Cadian just trying to support each other for now. And Cadian, he's going to fall. Now it's all up. Sorry, Shinobi's going to fall up to Cadian. He can't find the shot. So Immortals, they will have enough time with Bolts with the kit. Just making sure to transfer over so they don't throw a needless round away. So they're able to finally win one after 9. Is this it? Is this the comeback for Immortals? Or can Rogue close this out? They've got a lot of money to work with on the side of Rogue. Immortals, if they lose this, they're completely reset. I've got the double up set up ready and working, but Rogue, I reckon they're just going to go for a fast day through apps once again.
Yep, I would say that wouldn't be too bad of an adjustment. Key thing to note that it was Cadian and Shinobi left in that 2-on-2. And they weren't able to convert it. So far, the really important players to convert those kind of rounds have been Hiko and Vice. So that's who I would be setting up for the late round, personally. Would probably be preferable at this point if you're looking to just consistently close out those rounds. Those guys have been on fire. However, Destiny with the 2 entries, taking out key players on the Rogue side pretty quickly when they're trying to entrance onto that bomb site, and then Bolt's closing out the round. So, I think, you know, it's not always important to look at who's playing well and key players and stuff like that in some games, but in this game, for sure, a factor. You can't leave alone in the clutch 2-on-2 against 2 of the players who are underperforming a little bit.
Rogue have chewed down the time a little bit. 45 seconds. Immortals haven't made a move to try to take this Nana line. And now with the increased money, Immortals can kind of just burn through the utility and just take this apartment's control. They realize the danger of this. And there goes a molly. But Zach, nice shot towards Cadian. Will be able to bring the numbers back in the favor. And Steel, great flashbang timing from his teammate on the side. But he can only get 1-for-1. Bolt's now in pit. Such a dangerous player. And Rogue, 2 low HP members. Hiko can't even do any damage because Bolts finds the timing, and Bolts does as Bolts does, and just completely shuts them out. And finally, Immortals, a little bit of life in them. It's now Rogue back to the drawing board.
And this is where Rogue might be getting a little bit two-dimensional in terms of their strategy on the T side. Only really hitting that B area or hitting the apartments. Need that 3rd layer of strategy to be able to work out A, what Immortals is doing, and B, what they can do to close that one out. Because, you know, Vice is having a sick game and Wrath is having a sick game as well, but how many rounds can you really count on these guys to just win it for you? How many rounds can you expect them to just close it out easily? You know, individual
you
plays
expect
are
every
great.
single round, you know?
Yeah, it's not every single round. That's the problem at the moment.
Alright, so they managed to push Zach off the jungle line. Now they're fast up towards Diggity. The incendiary grenade comes out, but Steel's ready and waiting. Vice, once again, able to get one before being traded out. But where's the numbers from Rogue? They're locked out behind the incendiary grenades. They managed to sneak one into CT. And this is up towards Cadian to strike. He showed some great form in the AK-47 earlier, but he might be caught off timing by SHZ if SHZ does not check the line. Cadian's managed to sneak through towards the library, and this is an instrumental position, but he can't land these shots towards Steel. Kind of blew it a little bit too early. His now cover is now revealed, and SHZ can't land his off shot. Oh no, SHZ. He's caught some of the Cadian curse with the AWP, and now Bolts and Steel. They still got time to work with Rogue, but they need to decide where to go. Bolts still in such a dangerous position. You'd say at this stage that they should go back towards Nana. They've locked down this A-site rotation. Steel and Bolts have to either go down mid, chase this up in Destiny. He's aware of the danger. He's going to come up towards Car. He's going to find spot one. He's going to take him out. Hiko. Can Hiko get the trade? And he can. The bomb is going to be carted forward towards Nana. Kaden is just going to leave Library completely. He decides it's not worth it to go for the 1-for-1 risk. But just as he ducks towards construction, Steel spots him out.
Bolts closing in on the Nana side. Hiko left alive, so pretty good clutch potential. But with Bolts alive, he's got a pretty good rate of securing these clutches, and that's going to contribute pretty heavily, knocking Hiko down to 5 HP. Still gets killed. So, Bolts have been so good at taking down these low HP players. He's on the reel. Cadian's going to shoulder it, and it spots him out and closes it out. So, Bolts taking a little bit of a risk there. Almost pays off for him, but not quite. And unfortunately, Steel is just not playing well enough at the moment. He needs to be able to close out these kills. There's so many situations where he's knocking people down minus 70 HP and just not closing it out.
Yep, and now it's down towards another match point for Rogue. Last time they had 4 match points, this time 3. Immortals do not have a full buy. They've had to force up, lack of utility. And you can see Steel looking to play a little bit aggressive, decides not to. Concedes mid-control, or bot mid-control, as now Immortals take Sandbag's control at Nana. Rogue, what a comeback journey.
Absolutely. Really well played from Cadian in that round. Maybe his positioning was definitely key to the victory of that round from Rogue.
You got a little bit lucky as well with SHZ just missing 2 shots.
I wasn't going to mention that. Let's just give him some praise.
All right.
I'm way too much of a pessimist, just bragging on players all game long.
To be fair, it's just like, imagine if it was a player like Snacks in that position. Okay, maybe not Snacks, but like someone who... Because SHZ has had a bit of a shocker with the AWP. Imagine someone who's been pretty solid with the AWP so far was able to hit those shots.
Yeah.
Would have been a different story. And then Hiko was down towards a 1 and 3. Very difficult to cross without a smoke grenade. Destiny, it'd be a 1 and 2. And then the story would have been completely different. Now Hiko has been spotted out. Destiny looking to go aggressive. There is a lot of numbers towards this B site. Flashbang's coming forward. Wrath is able to get 1. Immortal's still holding on though. Cadian spraying through. Can't find any more. But once again, it's Vice and Wrath with the entry kills. Plant going down at Coffins as Cadian is going to make his way back towards Nana. Is going to spot down Steel, and Zach will be able to find Vice. At least one of the Danger Men shut down. Zach finds 2. That's Eagle coming out. Can he find the 3rd is the real question as he's retrieved an AK-47. Now Cadian is not aware his transition. Zach, how do you do this? Why does Zach as coach, plus Zach as a player, put him in? Stealing it away from Rogue.
I would have loved to see how he got those kills in connector and playing up close to that main area. Can't have been easy shots to hit with the Deagle. Either a little bit of fortunate RNG spamming away, or he's hitting some pretty precise Deagle shots. Tac pause, I would imagine, out from Rogue.
Yes, it is indeed.
Okay. They've got plenty of utility, they just kind of have to make the right decision in this round. Get to see. So.
Oh, that is so lucky. 3rd shot. I mean, I'd be mad if I was Shinobi. 3rd shot with the Deagle to get the kill. Come on.
Yeah, a little on the fortunate side.
A little bit on the fortunate side, but sometimes Lady Luck does smile upon you, and Zach made the most out of it. Gives Immortals just that one more chance to come back into the game, and Rogue, they talk things through. They forced up into this effectively their last full buy. They can't, either they've got to win this, or they're going to be broke.
And a little bit of a over-eager call from the Rogue side to go into that big bomb site so quickly. The round comes down very close, and, you know, it does sort of work from them, but let's be real, they were running into a 4-man stack of Immortals. And, you know, Immortals are not really hitting their shots too well. If you're running into a stack of 4 people in most other scenarios, it's not going to work out that well for you. And to be honest, you know, how do I say this? It all sort of evens out as they do lose the round anyway.
Alright, so now Rogue, they posture towards mid once again, looking to try to take this A-site control. And Immortals, they don't have the firepower necessary to back up this hold. They do have the utility to use, though. A lot of incendiary grenades to kind of burn it away and play towards the late game. And Immortals, taking a little bit of early Nana control at Sandbags, and now they're just slowly starting to put one member back. That's going to be SHZ with a FAMAS going back towards jungle side, and Zach is about to be challenged towards the jungle point if Rogue do decide to push in together.
Yeah, this slow brackets control isn't really something that we've seen from them so far, so they will be changing up what they're doing. Double pick setup coming out from Immortals. Zach's in a pretty key position. It's going to be hard for him to hold that jungle side. Same with Steel. He hasn't got the best weaponry for it. But 2, 3 coming out for Immortals. Zach closing out the round hugely from that bomb site position.
Once again, it's Zach. It's the A side hold, and Rogue got nothing to work with. I think we're going in towards our second overtime between these boys, Billy.
Man, Zach stepping up in the key rounds for Immortals.
Yeah, he's definitely taking a booster.
Taking a booster.
He
need a bit of a booster.
Just single-handedly has brought this back for Rogue.
These games have been intense and long and so back and forth. Great Counter-Strike coming out from both sides, but especially impressed by Rogue and some of their individual players. Maybe lacking the consistency game to game that they really need to become successful in the future, but at least they're showing sparks of brilliance here and there.
Absolutely, and once again, they're a developmental team. To push Immortals, even with this kind of lineup, you look at the Immortals' prestige and the experience, and you got to look at on Rogue. You know, sure, Katie and Hiko have been playing the game for ages, but you got all this young talent who've just barely touched the game in terms of legal consideration. It's just insane to think how far they've pushed such a prestigious org. Definitely going to be happy with the performance, and now it's going to be a slow contact B play. They're just waiting for the smoke to fade out before they go in. There's a few flashbangs. There are the flashbangs coming through now. They're pushing forward. Do they suspect one at New Box? They don't suspect one. Both are high up, elevated, but Hiko with a CZ, 2 kills. Someone stop this man. Hiko's been relatively quiet. He's had a couple of good rounds. All of a sudden, it explodes onto the B bomb site. 3-on-3. Cadian Bolts will be checking this line. No, he will not. Cadian picks up the kill with a CZ. Now the info has been lost. There are the kits. Zach and Steel left to retake this B bomb site. HE grenade towards a low HP Shinobi takes him out. Resets it towards a 2-on-2 bomb plant Fountain, which means the Nana line is pretty useless, and Hiko's going to peek out. Hiko's going to tag them down even more, and Rogue towards the end. It is the 2 experienced players, Cadian and Hiko, who will be able to take down that round, and Hiko with the 3 kills, Cadian with the 2. Rogue
2-0.
towards the end, 2-0. I mean, sure, overtime, they get 2 points. The victory, they get 3, but that is still big coming out from Rogue.
Absolutely, and unfortunately, you know, Vice had some sick rounds in the earlier parts of that half. Wrath had some good rounds as well, but it was Hiko and the others to step up in the later part of that game and take it out.
Absolutely.
And special mention to Zach going ham and cheese in the last parts of that half. He wanted to take out that 1-1.
Could have been 16-12, and then Zach with a deagle. A little bit of luck.
And then Zach with the ump as well.
Probably a lot of luck, should I say. At that third shot, the dispersion, should I say, should have been absolutely massive, and it just so happens to hit the head.
All I'm going to say, Kev, is that he put his crosshair somewhere in the vicinity of all of that radius was the guy's head. So he did something right, and he got the kill.
That's like me throwing, just like vaguely throwing. It's like, yeah, the bin's over there. I'm going to throw roughly in about 5 degrees off the bin, and because I'm a terrible aimer. Oh, I shouldn't say Zach was a terrible aimer, but because, you know, of recoil or whatever, it lands in the bin because I throw like 5 degrees that way.
How much recoil has your arm got on it, mate?
I don't know. How many paper things do I have to throw?
That's true.
That's the real question.
How fast does it reset as well? Do you need a bit of a lie down afterwards?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
You know me, I'm a scrawny kid.
I mean, you're not really scrawny or a kid. So.
I'm just nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Okay, let's talk about how great this game was, because this was actually a really sick series. Like, in all honesty, like it's so surprising that Rogue took this out 2-0. The OT coming out, you know, in the latter parts of that half, they really had some clutch moments from pretty much a lot of the Rogue players, and it was just sick to see.
Yeah, imagine if Immortals took this pistol round on the back of Destiny. Could have been a completely different story. And this is like the start of Rogue chaining together 9 rounds in a row on the T side. Barely looked challenged. I mean, some rounds came a little bit close, but I mean, this one particularly was close. Vice on a 1 and 3, but just a little bit too sharp. That's where he stood up alongside with Wrath. I mean, so many good entries towards the B bomb side, towards B as well as A. This was Vice's ace. Zach tried his best to answer in this round, but once again, Vice was just in the all too powerful pit position. So Immortals started off really strongly, 9-0. Rogue counter-responded towards the end, traded 5 rounds for 1 on their CT side, which is, better than going down 12-3 because it wouldn't leave them any foundation whatsoever. Gave them a little bit to work with. They took it the entire way, took the pistol round on the back of a really, really good play. I mean, sure, Destiny got 4, but I believe it was Cadian who took 3 towards the end, was able just to eke it out towards the end. What is that?
Yeah, and Rogue has got some really strong T sides, it seems, more than anything. It's not like they have a sick amount of dimension in terms of what they're doing on their T side, but they're doing the things that they do them well. And, there might not be a sick variety. They might not go for 3 different variations of a strat. Might be pretty straightforward stuff, but if they do it well and they have good players in positions to close out the round, then what's the problem? There isn't one.
Absolutely. Well, that has felt like an entire day of Counter-Strike, but that is only our first series. We do have the second series coming up between Splice as well as Ghost Gaming. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. It should be a good one.